Hello, welcome to my channel, Common Sense News. Today I'm going to have a look at the Home Affairs Select Committee, who will be questioning high-ranking police officers and getting them to give their witness testimony regards policing at football events.
If I could ask our witnesses to introduce themselves and then we'll go into questions. Perhaps we'll start with you, Mr. Roberts.
Good afternoon, Chief Constable Mark Roberts from Cheshire Constabulary, but I'm here in my role as MPCC Lead for Football Policing.
Good afternoon, Mike O'Hara, Assistant Chief Constable from the West Midlands, and I was the Gold Commander.
Good afternoon, Craig Guilford, Chief Constable of West Midlands Police.
Good afternoon everyone, Mick Wilkinson. I'm a Chief Inspector with West Midlands Police and I'm the head of the Force Football Unit.
Thank you very much. And to start our questioning, I'll call Paul Kohler.
Thank you. I'd like to return to the meeting between CW and the Dutch police on the 1st of October. I think it was the 1st of October. It's referred to as the 2nd of October in the peer review, but I think it was the 1st of October, that meeting, yeah. There was no contemporaneous minutes of that. Is that normal practice when interviewing witnesses, not to have minutes taken?
Sorry, did you say when interviewing witnesses?
Yes. Or listening to evidence?
So the committee member here has asked of the police about contemporaneous minutes or minutes of any description when witnesses are being interviewed, and the police seem to be totally confused as to what it is they're being asked. They're looking at one another as if to say, well, who's going to answer this? So Craig Guilford starts to answer, but then he says to the chief inspector next to him, you answer it because you were on the committee meeting. Now, or you were at the meeting, I should say. But they've come with no cohesive information pack where they can all refer to it, or they should, know who's going to say what, instead of looking at one another thinking, do you mean me, mate?
Is it normal practice to take minutes?
Sorry. Yeah, do you want to just come in there with that because you were on the meeting?
So if I could just take a couple of moments, if that's okay, just to explain sort of my role within West Midlands Police and some of the operational experience that I drew upon in terms of the planning and the delivery of this policing operation. So I am one of West Midlands Police's silver and bronze public order commanders. I've been involved in football policing for the majority of my policing career, and I am part of the European Silver Cadre of police commanders policing both in the UK and indeed in Europe. I've planned and delivered numerous high-profile football fixtures, high-risk fixtures, but additionally to that, in terms of my sort of operational command, I am also the Force's National CT SECO lead.
Well, this police officer here is explaining his role as a silver and bronze commander when it comes to football matches and crowd control and the likes. But he uses an acronym, the National CT SECO. Now, I have no idea what that is. It's likely that the committee may not know what that is. And he should really explain what that CT SECO stands for, so that when it's referenced again within this meeting, people such as I who are listening to it and the committee themselves, they will know what it is he's actually talking about.
I've regularly taken on the role of delivering party conference, and most recently was the security coordinator for the Commonwealth Games. So I just felt that it was important to share that with you in terms of my operational exposure and the roles and processes I go through in delivering those operations. With regards to the comments around meeting with the Dutch police, if I could just say that as a commander, and in terms of informing my decision making and making the best and most informed decision, I think it's really important to try and obtain information from as many different sources, diverse sources of information, to absolutely make sure that our decision making is the most well informed as it possibly can be.
My question, no minutes were taken at the time.
No, forgive me. So in terms of the question, no minutes were taken.
Why not?
So
Now, this fellow here has spent so long telling the committee what it is he does, how he does it, and what he's been at it for so long, and all the rest of it, that he's actually completely forgotten what the question was. The committee members had to remind him about the question on minutes, but he waffled on for so long, he'd forgotten where he was at.
the conversation was between policing peers. So my conversation was with the Dutch Police Command, who were, as I say, trusted professional policing peers, speaking peer-to-peer to obtain their information, their experiences of delivering an operation of the scale that the fixture that we were going to deliver. I think that's regular. I've done that commonly when planning big operations, speaking to police commanders from other forces, both within the UK and across the world, to speak with other professional policing peers to get that honesty and candour from their experiences of delivering an operation.
And that makes sense, but did you record what was said soon afterwards?
Again, this committee member has to remind this policeman what it is, the question that's been asked, and the answer that the committee member wants. Now, if someone were to be interviewed by the police station, out on the street or wherever, and were acting in this sort of manner, they would be deemed to be suspicious, and the police officer might arrest them on that suspicion. Yet they can do it here, it seems, and not have to answer what is actually being asked.
So I made notes during my meeting with them, which were then transcribed and put into an email, which was submitted into the chain of command.
And we have the email before us now.
And you've got the email.
It's not dated. When was the email sent?
So the email was sent on the 9th of October.
That's a week later.
So
you made not contemporaneous notes, but notes soon afterwards. And this email is a version of those notes.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. It's referred to as the tipping point in the peer review. Do you agree that evidence was the tipping point in your decision to ban away fans?
So from the perspective of the operation, the evidence that I gave last time, absolutely, I thought with the way that the intelligence had built up, that my assessment was, certainly from looking at it objectively, that it was really important information which actually influenced the bronze, the silver and the gold commander.
Why does it not appear in the community impact assessment? Why is no reference made to this incredibly important information in the community impact assessment?
If you
Do you
wish.
want to take that?
It's not normal practice to reference engagement with professionals,
No,
particularly.
not the engagement, but the actual information. All that's in the community impact assessment is more accurate information about what happened in the Amsterdam fixture. None of this information, this contentious information, which there is great doubts over, none of that appears in the community impact assessment. Why not? It was so important. Why wasn't it there?
So the community impact assessment is exactly that. It's about engagement and information exchange with community. The CIA has a different role.
I'm sorry to correct you, but it does cover, the community impact assessment does cover the Amsterdam match, what was said previously. It doesn't say this new information, which contradicts what you've recorded in the community impact assessment. You can't argue we don't include that stuff, because you did include it. But you
Well, unfortunately, the police seem to be completely at odds with one another. This foursome that they've been sent along to the Home Affairs Committee, and they've no idea what it is they're being asked. They've no idea what the answer is. I mean, forgive me for seeming to be mean to the police, maybe in a fashion I am. They're hopeless here. They're completely all at odds with one another. They don't even seem to understand how one bit fits with another. And I don't know. I'm really surprised about the serious lack of professionalism here by so-called senior policemen. And we do know that Craig Guilford, who's the one of the chief constables there, actually gave false information to the previous committee that he was at, and has since retired. But there again, never mind. We get what we're given, don't we? Thank you for watching, and please do remember to subscribe to the channel. Thanks.